This here is the sea asparagus, also known as sea beans, and pickle beans is another name for it, and there's also another name for this, which I can't say in the first minute of a YouTube video because I'll be demonetized, but in Eastern Canada, French speakers call this, well, let's clean it up a little bit, mouse teats. These are getting a little bit of popularity. I've actually seen these at supermarkets before, but I never knew what they were, so I never bought them. And then this was sent to me by Wanderlust Nursery. Thank you, Wanderlust Nursery, for sending me this thing that I didn't know what it was. Historically, this was used in soap making. People would take this and they would burn it and make an ash out of it, and that ash would be used to make soap. However, these days it is getting some popularity as kind of like a high-end cooking ingredient. It has a lot of flavor to it, and one of those flavors is saltiness. This is supposed to taste quite salty. In fact, this is used to make a salt substitute. And Wanderlust Nursery was kind enough to send me a pack of that too. This is green salt, which all this is this that has been dehydrated and ground up. And this claims to have as much flavor as salt, but less sodium. So we'll see if that's true. But first I want to try a piece of the sea bean just on its own. That is salty, 100%. It's got a nice crunch to it. So the flavor of this is something like asparagus with salt on it. It's maybe a little grassier, and maybe like a little bit like string bean. There isn't much sweetness, there isn't much tartness, but there is definitely saltiness. And that's pretty good. I can see this being useful if you're somebody who does not like to use salt. If you want to keep it like more natural or whatever, cut this up and you have a way to add seasoning to something that you're cooking without, you know, pulling out the Mortons, you know. But let's see how the actual salt is. Salicornia, or sea asparagus, grows by the ocean. It absorbs minerals in seawater, giving it a salty and umami taste, yet low sodium content. Green salt is lighter than normal salt and has double the volume of salt for the same weight. You can use twice the volume of green salt compared to common salt and still consume 50% less sodium than salt. So this is supposed to be even saltier than salt. We'll see about that, green salt. Yeah, not... Whoa! So this green salt is really damn green, that's for sure. So I guess the advertising's right. Let's pour some of this out. It's real dusty too. But yeah, look at that. That is just a big pile of green dust, isn't it? And the smell on this, okay, I'm gonna be careful not to accidentally snort this up my nose because I think that'll be a problem. Somewhere between green tea and a hamster cage. It's very planty smelling. So just try a little bit, a little pinch just on its own. So that is definitely salty, but I wouldn't say it's saltier than salt. I mean, at least not by volume. Maybe it is by weight, because this is very light and dusty. So maybe that's why they say that. I put just like a pinch of that on my tongue, and it was salty, but not as salty as the same amount of regular salt. But either way, you are definitely getting some saltiness to it. But here's the problem. It doesn't just taste like salt. There is definitely a strong green flavor. You are tasting chlorophyll when you taste that. It's like the flavor of matcha. You know, you're getting green tea sort of taste, or like a grassy kind of taste with that salt. And it's not mild. Like, you are definitely getting that green flavor. So green salt might be useful, but you might not want to put it on anything. Some things you're not going to want to taste like that. But let's try it on something. I've got some tomatoes here. Keep it simple. I'm just going to take a pinch of the green salt and sprinkle it on top. I am not impressed I put the same amount of salt on that, or green salt on it, that I would with regular table salt, and I can hardly taste it. I can get a little bit of it, I guess, because I'm looking for it, but it's not that salty. You definitely need to use more, at least by volume, than you would with table salt. So you're gonna have to put like a hefty pinch to get that flavor on there. And if you're doing that, you're gonna add quite a strong flavor of grassiness to what you're eating. So I guess it has its uses, you know? Like if you are somebody who can't have table salt for whatever reason, maybe this is a better alternative. However, it does still have sodium in it. So, I mean, maybe it'll help you curb the amount that you use, but because it has that extra green taste, I don't see a reason to use this. I would use some sea salt, you know, or some Himalayan salt. If you want to like stay away from table salt, there are other alternatives. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. I don't think that green salt is something that is worth picking up. Not a sponsor, by the way. However, I am impressed by the sea asparagus. Like, using this fresh makes sense. It doesn't have like this weird like hamster cage kind of taste that the dried one does. This has a nice freshness to it. So I can see the use of this. I can see cutting this up and using this as your salt substitute. I can't really get on board with this. The green salt is interesting, I'll give it that. I mean, the fact that you can make a salt alternative using this is pretty neat. But for my purposes, I would just use regular salt. So thank you once again to Wanderlust Nursery for sending me the sea asparagus. And thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye. I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, Bill T. and Joseph McCorkle. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. To everyone watching who is interested in learning more about how you can support the channel and also get some really cool rewards in return, like early access to videos, exclusive videos, there's over 100 of those. There's even a level where I will send you things in the mail. You gotta check it out, so I will put some information in the description below.